stand for the singing of the national anthem of the United States of America.
Thank you, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to Canfield High School for the 7th and 8th grade choir's choral music presentation this evening. We sort of have a mostly American program tonight, mostly American music, tributes to America, American songs, and a variety of music for you of different styles. As the 7th grade is sitting down, the next group to sing will be the Canfield Cambiata. Canfield Cambiata is a select group of 7th and 8th graders. As long as they are participating in an ensemble at the school, either band or choir, they participate in the after-school Cambiata choir. We meet one night a week, Thursday afternoons, and they have prepared a lot of music. Just a little over a week ago, we were at Cedar Point, and the students earned a superior rating for their outstanding performance at the Cedar Point Festival of Music. That's right. So now, enjoy the evening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. 3 varied selections by the Canfield Cambiata.
Gloria, gloria in
Canfield Cambiata in their final performance. The group has progressed so much this year. I know how much you enjoyed that. They've worked very hard for an hour and a half a week. That's not a lot of time to be able to prepare that kind of music. So we're really proud of them. Why don't you give them another hand as they're singing? Yeah. And thank you very much. There are a number of 8th graders who will be moving up here to the high school next year, which will allow some vacancies in the Cambiata. The auditions will be in the fall, come September, so 7th graders will be mindful of that. Now I'd like to present Mrs. Kelly Skurich, the director of the Canfield High School Choirs. This is the Canfield High School Chamber Ensemble. They are a select group, mixed choir, sopranos, altos, tenors, and basses, another award-winning ensemble from here at Canfield High School, and they will present two, varied pieces of music. One very beautiful piece of music by Eric Whitaker, and maybe I should stop talking and let you talk, right? Haley Tura.
Good evening. My name is Haley Tura, and I'm the president of the Chamber Ensemble. We are one of 3 groups here at the choir. It is a pleasure to be performing for you tonight. Our first piece is one that we performed in March at the OMEA district competition entitled, as Mr. Skurich said, The Seal Lullaby by Eric Whitaker.
We have fallen in love with Eric Whitaker's music. He is a very young composer and an up-and-coming. He has such wonderful and builds such wonderful imagery through music. You can actually feel and see the waves underneath these seals as the students are singing. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous music. I would also like to say with this group, in March we did go to competition, and there were only 2 choirs at that competition that received all superiors on the floor from 3 judges, and also a superior in the sight reading room. And I'm happy to say we were one of those 2 superior ratings, totally unanimous vote, and the other was also a Canfield choir, and that was our 1 octave higher that performed last night. So we're quite proud that both groups got all superiors, and we're the only choirs that did so. So thank you. Now, Seal Lullaby.
Just incidentally, that group is comprised of students, you name it. First of all, they're all very bright students. Many athletes, varsity athletes are in that group, members of band and choir, speech team, many organizations, and those students are just fantastic. And Jessica Lee, you might have noticed a student was playing that. I'd like to introduce Dylan Auble behind me. Dylan, and there are several other students in 7th and 8th grade and many in 5th and 6th grade who I've served and starting to serve as accompanists and helped us learning parts. I give them music to take home, they learn our parts, and it's been a wonderful blessing for us to have these young ladies and gentlemen help. Their names are in the bulletin. I want to make sure you are aware of those students that have worked over and above, not just singing, but actually helped us as well as accompanists. So here's Dylan Auble with some winter memories. Lovely. Thank you, Dylan. As the 7th grade choir takes the stage, I would like to tell you a little bit about their program. This group can really sing, as you will hear. I'm not sure if they know their potential yet, but they've come a long way, and they enjoy social time too, as you might believe, but they also enjoy singing, and it's been quite a year with this group of 70 students. We'll start off with a song, Come Sing a Joyful Song. This is by prolific English composer Henry Purcell. And then we'll continue with a spiritual, Keep Your Lamps, and a couple of songs that I think you're familiar with. If you happen to see the royal wedding on Saturday, there were two different choirs. There was the chapel choir made up of the small boys and the young men, and there was also a gospel choir. And the gospel choir sang Stand By Me, which we just knew ahead of time and had it ready for you tonight, Stand By Me. We knew they were going to do that all along. And anyway, you'll enjoy the 7th grade choir. Soloists, by the way, on our first selection, Sophia Cianciola and Natalie Balestra, the 7th grade choir. Sophia and Natalie to take a bow. Would you please give it up? Seventh grade choir. Come on, that's. They'll be back. We have a big finale, so they'll be back. First of all, we have another student who enjoys playing the violin, Catherine Esper. You have heard her on past concerts as well. Catherine will be out. She has played a number of events, competitions, and so on, and we are delighted that she is here. Also, while the students are sitting, I would like to have Mrs. Larson. Is she around? Is she out here yet? Oh, let me recognize Mrs. Courtney Larson for a moment, our paraprofessional and accompanist. If you remember the Seal Lullaby, the first piece that the chamber choir did from the high school, and just everything, the sensitivity that she has. She's a dedicated mom. She's very active in the community, and she's a very busy lady, but she comes in to help us accompany, learn parts, and dedicate her time to us here at the middle school and the high school. So will you please say thank you to Mrs. Courtney Larson? And here's Catherine Esper. Catherine Esper, and Mrs. Larson. I forgot to mention that Catherine is also a member of the Youngstown Youth Symphony, Youth Orchestra. And if you attend the Youngstown Symphony, the youth orchestra also played Tchaikovsky's Fourth Symphony with the Youngstown Symphony back earlier in the spring. So we have some very talented students. Now it's time for the 8th graders.
Junction. Next station.
Cash for the merchandise. Cash for the butts and books. Cash for the cotton goods. Cash
For the hard goods.
Cash for the soft goods. Cash for the fancy goods. Cash
For the naughty.
in the cakes and the burgers. Cash for the laws and Cask and Demi-John. Cash for the crackers
The bagels.
and the fly paper. Where do you get it? You can talk, you can bigger, you can talk, bigger, you can talk all you want, but it's different than it was. No it ain't, but you gotta know the territory. Why it's the Model T Ford, made the trouble, made the people wanna go, wanna get up and go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 22, 23 miles to the county seat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who's gonna patronize a little bitty 2x4 kind of store anymore? You did it.
Not the Model T at all. Take a gander at the store, at the modern store, at the present day store, at the present day modern departmentalized grocery store.
Where do you get it? Where do you get it? Gone, gone, gone.
The hogs at Cask and Demi-John.
Gone. The sugar barrel, pickle barrel, up and gone with the tub and the pail and the tears.
Ever met a fella by the name of Hill?
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 Hill? Hill?
Hill?
No! Just a minute.
Never heard of any salesman Hill.
How he doesn't know the territory.
What's the fellow's line?
Never worries about his line. For the cracker barrel being obsolete.
For the union and biscuit and an airtight sanitary package.
Just a minute. Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line.
The music man.
He's a what?
He's a what? The music man. And he sells clarinets to the kids in the town with the big trombones and the rat-a-tat drums and the big brass bass.
I don't know much about bands, but I do know you can't make a living selling big trombones.
No, sir.
Fellow sells bands. Boys bands.
I don't know how he does it.
But he lives like a king.
And he galleys and he gathers.
He flux and he shines.
And when the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? Piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When the man dances, certainly, boys, what else?
Piper pays him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But he doesn't know the territory.
If you're unfamiliar with that, that's from the very first scene of the famous musical, the Broadway musical called The Music Man. Back to 1912, a little train ride from Rock Island, Illinois to River City, Iowa, the location of the story The Music Man, Rock Island. All right, let's move on. We're going from Iowa. Now we have Our America, which is a tribute to some patriotic songs, followed by music from another great American musical.
This land was made for you.
Thank you, 8th grade choir. Seventh grade choir, will you please stand and rejoin us, please? Incidentally, if you enjoyed the high school chamber choir, the high school complete concert, full concert, is this Thursday, 7 p.m. Instead of adding an additional banquet for the choir, the concert begins with recognition of the senior class. There are 36 seniors graduating from the choirs this year, followed by the concert choir, the chamber choir, the female ensemble 1 octave higher, who were here last evening performing with the 5th and 6th grade. There are also senior soloists included in the concert on Thursday night as well, and the grand finale with Canfield Choir alumni, which is always a real treat, the Battle Hymn of the Republic. That will be Thursday night beginning at 7 o'clock. I'd like to invite Mrs. Skurich out here for a moment. We talked about student accompanists, and we're so grateful for their work, and I want to thank you parents for your support, and if there are any of their private music teachers here, piano teachers and violin teachers, I thank you so much for your support. But one of the students who's in 8th grade going to 9th grade is behind me, Julia Mosier, and before she plays, I would like Mrs. Skurich to come out and give her a recognition for next year.
Many years ago, our Canfield Choral Boosters established something called an Accompanist grant. And these grants were for young promising pianists to train in accompanying skills. So the grants range from $25 to $100. And it's given to students that accompany our upper level choirs, our 1 octave higher and our chamber ensemble. And I'm pleased to say that one of the recipients is an 8th grader this year, and she will be accompanying our 1 octave higher next year. And that recipient is Julia Mosier.
Now Julia will share some fun music by the great composer John Williams. Julia Mosier. Well, before we conclude tonight, we have 2 very powerful, very meaningful songs, both from Broadway musicals. The first from Carousel, which is an older Rodgers and Hammerstein classic, which is actually revived as we speak now in New York City, and also sees the day from Newsies, which is a more contemporary musical about the young boys in New York City early in the 20th century who decided to stop being kicked around and got together and stood up for their rights as newspaper boys. And You'll Never Walk Alone from Carousel, which you may recognize also. Two very powerful statements, powerful songs of hope. Before we conclude, I also want to say thank you so much for your continued support, and I know I don't have to convince you about the importance of the arts and its relationship to a complete, well-rounded education. Please continue to support the entire K through 12 process in all subjects, including the arts. Two more items before you leave. Some of you have purchased our beautiful hanging baskets, which are up here. They are clearly labeled, so after the concert, if you did so, you may please come and retrieve your basket before you leave. And finally, speaking of baskets, if you feel so inclined, there will be ushers at the door with baskets this evening. If you feel so inclined, if you would like to give a donation to our sheet music fund and to further activities and to have music and other activities for the students' benefit, please feel welcome to offer a donation as you leave tonight. Thank you very much. Remember that every song has a life, every life has a song, and keep a song in your heart.
Is a golden sky.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your support. Have a wonderful summer. God bless. Thank you.